this wonderful global summit and to have great minds here and to feel that I was capable to sit here. First of all, thank you so much. Um, my journey started from Hyderabad. I'm happy to say that I'm a product of Hyderabad. My first film, Tujhe Meri Kasam, where Genelia and me, both of us debuted, was produced by Sri Ramoji Rao. And everything I learned, my first experience about filmmaking was from here in Hyderabad. I learned about work ethics. I learned about how films are made. I learned about how people are treated. I didn't know anything about filmmaking. But my foundation itself was so good in terms of dealing with people who are so professional, so respectful, and so inclusive. That is one thing that Hyderabad really inculcated in me as a person, and I'm extremely proud to carry it with me for the last 22 years as an actor, a producer, and now as a director. Talking about I have, Ginil and me, primarily we have produced Marathi films. That's where the language that I'm born in. It's an industry. When you talk about Indian film industry, it started with a Marathi man, Dadasaheb Phalke. And one man's vision in Mumbai. And when we spoke last time that, industry, a lot of people from all over the country came and it became like a boiler for filmmaking. It became a hub. It became something much more important, much more like an ambassador to cultures. And it has, like Sham Babu said, it is practically the biggest influencer that we have world over. And when we talk about cinema, primarily, I'll come to what you said about Marathi films being made. Yes, regional films, um, some industries have struggled and gained success and became big global phenomenon like Telugu, like Tamil. Hindi was already a hugely successful industry, and they are the main drivers. But when we look at Marathi industry, primarily because it comes from state of Maharashtra, where we already have an existing Hindi film industry. So when it comes to choices in Maharashtra, people's first choice is always a Hindi film. The second choice is a Marathi film. So when a Marathi film becomes the second choice, it is extremely important that you have less chances to attract that audience. Then you have to be very sure what kind of films you're making, how can it be culturally rooted. Like like Arvind sir said that, it's important to go local. And of course, if you are connected with local, emotions will connect and eventually global will happen. But if you're not local, if you don't connect with the people's heart, nothing's going to translate on big screen or influence people's minds. Yes, I agree that as an industry, when we look at what's happening in uh, the summit here or the proposition of cross-cultural boundaries being erased, that is very important. Why is this more or very exciting? Is because it will be a hub not only for Telugu industry. We are talking about a hub for all India or people from all over the world to come here and interact with each other and see what we can give each other, what we can learn from each other. It's very important that we have a place, and unfortunately, even even in Maharashtra, we or Mumbai, we have very fragmented places where we shoot. We don't have an interactive or integrated city as such that can really inculcate talent, nurture a future generation, and help each other excel. Sir said that um, like A.R. Rahman sir said, it's not about giving something that's good. How do we excel? And if each of us tries to excel in what we do, we will create a global product. And that is what we need to really teach people. And I truly believe that skill sets are the most important part of this industry. And primarily, talk about slightly off, but in our industry, a lot of people think working on the job is learning, and it is. I'm not saying that it is. Be it production, like production is such an important aspect of it. But we need institutes to teach people how to produce movies. how to manage people. We think, okay, one person joins the film, he learns the ropes, and we have the grades. Of course, I'm not denying that. But if we teach all these things professionally in an institute, then we'll have far more superior talent coming in and making things better, making things more
Streamline.
easier, streamlining things for us to excel in. And that does not mean production. I'm talking about even direction, every aspect of it. That is something that we really need to, as skill sets, really develop. And when we talk about Marathi films, I've of course worked in Hindi films and producing and directing Marathi films. I think erasing the regional boundaries is very important, but at the same time, upholding your cultural values, where we each have our own inherent cultural values that we can come together, that we can impart with each other, collaborate with each other, and it's give and take. That's what I think, and this is the place that promises to be that, and we are very excited to see what future for cinema holds, starting from Telangana.
Moving to Zoya and Genelia both, I think Zoya first I'll come to you. I think in the beginning of the summit when I was talking, we spoke about, I hate using the term women empowerment. I think it's just about acknowledging the fact that over the last couple of decades we've had women in front of the camera and now women behind the camera. I think our industry in that sense has started a lot of that conversation for many, many years. And now when we speak about the summit today, they also want to make sure that the ecosystem and environment fosters more behind the scenes women feeling excited, intrigued, curious to learn, to adapt, and to be part of cinema. As somebody who's been a torchbearer of being a filmmaker behind the scenes, and as an actor who's worked in both Hindi and Telugu and regional cinema, what can actually be done to make sure that more women, more girls, more young girls are excited and intrigued to come and be part, not only in front of the camera, because that will always exist, because there is a certain amount of beauty that comes with it and a certain excitement, but even just to be able to be a storyteller, because abroad we see so many fantastic people who are producing, directing, writing, I mean, show running. So I think it's the tip of the iceberg. I think we have to empower women and girls to start believing that they must and they can.
Firstly, thank you for having me here. I'm really excited to be here. I absolutely love this question. And here is somewhere where I think the Mumbai film industry has done very well, which is created a safe environment where women can work behind the camera. There are sets that are sometimes more than 50% women. We have women in every field, not just directors and writers, but we also have women in lighting now, women that are grips, women that are shooting films. They are everywhere. I think it starts from the top, and the top is here, so it's a good place to start. I think in Bombay, what happened was the biggest production houses and the biggest stars started working with women directors. Whether it was the Khans, whether it was Ritik, whether it was, they all started working and signing films with women directors. And that really broke a glass ceiling. The big production houses, YRF, Dharma, Excel, all of them started using women directors, and it sends out a message. I think that's very important. I think half the audience is female, half our life is female, so their worldview is very important. Their vision is very important. They see the world differently, and you can only make better films and a better industry by involving them in the process. Having said that, respect. I think for women to come in and work behind the camera, they need to feel valued. You can't dismiss them. You can't be like, you don't know anything, you're a girl. No, she knows a lot. You know what I mean? She gave birth to you. So have some respect. And basically, respect and safety and opportunity. That's all.
Genelia, I think the audience is dying to hear from you.
Um, Firstly, I would like to honestly thank Honorable CM and Honorable Deputy CM for having me here. I mean, Hyderabad is home and it'll always mean the world to me. Telangana, some place where I started my first film, and then also the first time I produced was also back here in Telangana. So I think what this the place does is makes you feel very secure and very wanted. Like Zoya saying, very often as women, if you don't come forward, it's because you don't feel that you're holding a position of power. But this city encourages you. It opens its heart and opens it's very, very welcoming. For someone like me who came from Bombay, I did some of my best work here. Not that I didn't do in other industries as well. I'm very grateful to have been part of a lot of industries. But I got a chance, like I wanted to do something more and I got that chance here. I'm honestly very grateful that I was a recipient of two Nandi Awards here, which is an honor for me when a state, gives it to you. It means more than a lot more awards because it comes straight from the people and straight from the government, and I think that is very, very welcoming to someone like me. Speaking as a producer, strangely, when I started off, I used to be the only girl on set very often. I was the only girl, but the strangest thing was my first film was produced by a woman herself at that point in time. Satyam here was produced by Supriya, and I don't know whether you're here, Nagarjuna's niece. And she was brilliant at her job. And I would look at her and wonder, like, I would always feel alone sometimes because I was, the only girl on set, and whether it was your crew or whether it was always men. But there was this one woman who was taking it all on, and I wondered, someday maybe, maybe I'll want to do this. Many years later, of course, we're here and the industry has opened out to a lot more women, and a lot more women are coming out and telling stories and being part of cinematography and being part of a lot more things. But the encouragement needs to start with each one of us, I think, and with a basic thought that I can be worth it. Like, I think as women, we underplay ourselves as well. We need to come out and say that we can do it. And someone like Zoya is brilliant. She's changed it for most women directors, I feel, yeah. And I think that's what's important. While you have an example, you also have a belief, and that's how we grow this industry. And I think the men in our industry are very lovely. They're always there to support. It's sometimes a little bit of saying that I want to do it, and another person saying, "Yeah, please come." That's about it.
And since we are talking about taking Indian cinema to the globe, if you look back, I mean, of course, there was Mr. Rajamouli and the fantastic vision of RRR, but there was also All We Imagine Is Light. And that was like a beautiful, quiet, soft film, Payal Kapadia, that has taken the world by storm. And it's about two Malayali nurses made in Malayalam by a Bombay girl set in Maharashtra, and it broke all barriers, and it was distributed in India by Rana, Sir's son. So that's another way to look at it. It's not just always the big vision, it's the quiet stories. Whether it was Meera Nair, whether it's Girls Will Be Girls, whether it's Santosh, these are all female filmmakers. And there is interest in what they have to say.
Exactly.